Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order.
Now, some observers, and by that I mean media and political observers, understand what happened. We've talked about it. Donald Trump addressed issues that people are worried about: prosperity, crime, open borders, mass immigration driving down wages, driving up housing prices. There's a lot of things Trump talked about. His cultural view about making America great again and a leader amongst world nations. There's a foreign affairs element there. Standing up against transgenderism in school. Supporting entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, who had an important role. Everyone knows what Trump stood for. And we talked to Kamala Harris was for abortion against Nazis. She got a drubbing in the polls last night, but the pundits didn't get a drubbing. No one could vote against the CBC or the Toronto Star. I mean, take a look at this exchange on the CBC last night, where they had someone on again using the word Nazi. Like, just shut up already. No one believes you.
So let's talk about exactly the question that you're asking is one that I've been catching a lot of heat for answering on air, and we've been talking about this in the last week or two. You're talking about the propaganda campaign and the playbook of Trump. This is not new. This is not surprising. This is directly out of Hitler's playbook. This is out of an autocrat playbook. This is a way to, I mean, the things that Trump has done masterfully, frankly, is to get the entire, to get a big part of the population to believe that the game is rigged and to sow distrust in public institutions and the free press. That is a tried and true playbook that we have seen time and time before that has resulted in really disastrous things for society. And that is what's working. And so it's actually quite simple. When you tell a big enough lie over and over and over, people are going to believe it. Even when folks around him, like Rudy Giuliani and others, have literally been found liable for telling those lies that weren't true. The public still believes it, and the whole goal was to erode trust in our public institutions, and it's working. Fake news. If anything, that's what fake news. I mean, Donald Trump has done that really well. Can't argue with that, right? Okay. And that's sad. That's sad. I just want everybody with us. And then you have this other idea of like, let's make America great and go backwards, where America, essentially the power structure in America was, made up mostly of a certain kind of person, right? There was a white power element to that. And you're seeing that play out in these elections too. And so I do think that we're at a tipping point where it's going to be like really, really tight for a while.
So all those pundits, all the media who totally bought into the Kamala Harris BS, I don't think that they will have the reckoning that the Democratic Party will surely be going through right now. Right now, the Democratic Party is saying, how did we lose? That maybe they'll think about, well, maybe by bullying Donald Trump, engaging in blatant lawfare, trying to imprison our opponents, making outlandish charges against him. I don't know. I don't know if that's connected to the assassination attempt on him, but I think a lot of people thought those things that he had to bear were signs of his character. And a lot of people say Donald Trump has poor character. Perhaps in some departments he does. But when it counted, when he was shot, almost killing him, he stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. And when they convicted him of this and fined him for that and charged him for this or that, he didn't whimper. He stood up and fought. He showed what it's like to be a man, to defend himself, and everyone knows he defends America in the same way. Who do you vote for on election day? Well, likability is part of it. Some people despise Trump. Many people like him. They find him funny. But policies are important too, and people's confidence that you're going to carry them out. I don't even know what Kamala Harris stands for, and I don't think she's actually done anything in her life, unlike Trump. We know what he's like in business, and we know what he was like as a president. Policies are important. The Democrats try to make it about identity. Here's a clip I showed last night of CNN talking to a young woman from Puerto Rico and trying to get her all mad that some comedian at a Trump rally said something mean about Puerto Rico. She says, I'll let you watch for yourself. She says, I don't like insults against Puerto Ricans, but I want to have a better life, and Trump will give that to me. Take a look.
It's my first time voting.
Oh, you're a first-time voter. Who would you like to win?
Trump.
This bothers
Me, I am Puerto Rican, so that was like, I was like, wow, like I don't really like that, you know? I don't know, really. I really don't know, honestly. It's
so
hard.
as a Puerto Rican, you're okay with that, though?
No, definitely not. I just think, you know, like people, like everyone has opinions. Like, you know, if they don't like Puerto Ricans, it hurts, of course. But at the end of the day, I'm okay with who I am. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to have a better life in the future.
Yeah, CNN really, really wanted this young lady to say, I'm so mad at this, what this comedian says, that I'm going to vote for a big government party that believes in high housing prices, inflation, and open borders. She didn't say it. In fact, Puerto Rico now has a Republican governor. When was the last time that ever happened? It wasn't just the president. It was the Senate flipped to the Republicans, Congress, the popular vote, as I mentioned. And the Senate in the United States is quite important. It vets all appointees, including for the Supreme Court of the United States. Expect smooth sailing when it's Trump's people vetting Trump's people. I'm really excited about the dream team Trump's bringing with him. Can you name anyone in Kamala Harris's cabinet, either the cabinet that exists now for Joe Biden or her would-be cabinet? I guess there's Pete Buttigieg. We know him because he was a McKinsey consultant, but what has he ever done? And there's the open border czar Mayorkas. Can you name anyone else? And if you can, is it for anything they've done that's good? Donald Trump is bringing a team of RFK Jr., Make America Healthy Again. Elon Musk, the Tony Stark Iron Man of our age. Vivek Ramaswamy, brilliant. Tulsi Gabbard. And J.D. Vance himself, who's solid. That is a dream team. I think one of the big differences between Trump in 2024 and Trump in 2016 is he knows that who he hired last time was often a weakness. He would hire people in key positions who either were bad at the job, didn't share his views, or were disloyal to him. And I think he's learned from that. And he said he has. And, you know, Trump doesn't admit mistakes very often. So we know who won, but who lost last night? Well, Kamala Harris, of course. But I want to show you a clip of an odious man. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. You might recognize him from the World Economic Forum. He's sort of their in-house futurist and deep thinker, a muse, if you like. And here's what he said a little bit before the election about what will happen to the global order. Take a look.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it openly. Now, again, it should be clear that many of these politicians, they present a false dichotomy, a false binary vision of the world, as if you have to choose between patriotism and globalism, between being loyal to your nation and being loyal to some kind of, I don't know, global government or whatever.
Well, he's dead wrong when he says you can be a patriot and an internationalist at the same time. Of course, you can be a patriot and have good relations with other countries. You can have agreements and treaties, that's for sure. But the whole World Economic Forum model is that you have some crypto government done in secret that then injects the policy into the cadaver of once independent countries. I know that because I've been to the World Economic Forum year after year, and I see how they operate. So I love the fact that he's absolutely terrified about the future world, according to the WEF. We'll be there in a couple months in January. I'll tell you how it goes. I think of other things that are just going to be screeching to the halt. You know, every year they have the UN Global Warming Conference. They call it the Conference of the Parties, or COP. Well, the next one is actually next week in Baku, Azerbaijan. And they always get together to scheme up global carbon taxes and the like. I don't know if Justin Trudeau's going to go or send someone. If it was somewhere cool like Paris or Bali, he'd probably go. He'll send a junior staffer because it's in Azerbaijan. But really, what's the point? If the United States is going to laugh and scoff at them like it did under the Trump years, it really is just a pantomime, isn't it? Something else that I think is going to be scotched is the globalist censorship plans, especially if they touch US-based companies, which they do. A lot of the social media in the world, at least in the free world, is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, etc. Those are all America-based companies, Twitter especially, or X as it's now called. So if you're Brazil and you're censoring Twitter, or if the European Union or the UK wants to censor Twitter, well, now Donald Trump has something to say about that. Those are American companies. I would watch out if I was the European Union or Brazil and thought I could simply censor or punish an American company. There's a new sheriff in town, and he doesn't let people get away with things anymore. I think censorship plans are going to be stalled. I know that J.D. Vance, when he was a senator, wrote a scorching letter to Ireland saying that he was watching Ireland's censorship bill. It's interesting, the countries that feel confident and optimistic again. Israel, you could just watch their leaders reaching out to Trump last night and this morning. Israel, Hungary, Viktor Orban, who actually endorsed Trump, which is very unusual for a foreign head of state. El Salvador's president, who, as you know, Nayib Bukele, built a huge prison, gathered up all the gang members, put them in there, and crime has plummeted. He is a fit for Donald Trump because they both love freedom and they love cryptocurrency. Argentina's Javier Milei, who's got wild hair like Trump, and he talks about freedom, and he has a Spanish swear in there. I mentioned India already. Those countries are on the up and up now. The losers, I would put China and Iran in those categories. The Ukraine war will surely end as it should have ended 2 years ago before Boris Johnson interfered with it. Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.